Now, out of the darkness of the inside of the sarcophagus, which is actually quite large, you would guess that it could hold it could hold the monk individual that you guys can see there, and he stands approximately 6 foot tall, thickly muscled, probably 220 pounds, really, really, beefy, hardy guy. It easily could have held his form. But strangely, from within, out steps this creature.
Ooh la la.
Now, as this creature steps out, you actually see a warping and folding of reality in a thin uh, shimmer that reminds you of heat coming off of old empire asphalt out in the middle of a desert environment. You see that the rippling, cascading aura is minute. It stays pretty close and form fitting to the frame, but it's so pronounced and profound that it actually creates an almost swirling color effect close to the body that is produced from such a heavy warping of uh, of the air around it that it actually distorts a lot more than would come off of heat on a road. And so this thing, whatever it is, it almost seems to be wrapped in its own little, almost like an environment. You also notice that within this strange field, there's small particles and motes of light and energy that seem to flare and bob and kind of gyrate within the field itself, independent of any outside light sources. So they definitely seem to be part of whatever that aura is, and not just reflections and refractions of ambient light. Um, there is a presence that exudes from this creature that makes you all feel at ease instantly. Even you, Bear, with the anxiety of being in this confined space, you feel several degrees of relief come over your psyche just from now being in the actual presence of whatever this being is. Okay? Um, Dex, you you have heard of something similar to what this creature's appearance seems to be, but it's just out of reach of your mind. But something about this seems familiar to you. But you remember it being in uh, a very enigmatic piece of lore. Like it was something you think maybe you read about in an old, almost like like what the Iliad would be, where it's like, an old Odyssey or something. It's not. You don't think it was really supposed to be a real story. It was more of an allegory or a tale that was meant to include some real elements and almost like teach a lesson. So this just kind of runs through your head for later reference. Uh, and Ren, you are able to very quickly discern whatever this creature is. Wait a second, Dex, you still have your three eyes going, don't you?
Yes,
Um,
sir.
you're able to see. I'm
Fedora
going
from
to.
Zelda.
I'm gonna do this. Right there. Okay. Dex, I whispered you.
Okay.
Okay, now let's see. This is here. let me just really quick. I want to make sure that we've got compact set so that all the stats are visible. Okay, there we go. And I actually want to put her on the token layer. There we go. Okay, so as that individual emerges, we'll call her she for now. She seems to float maybe 6 or 7 inches off of the ground with each step, although she appears to walk normally with the actual mechanical animation of her movements. As she paces forward silently and softly across the deck, you notice that there's little arcs of what look like maybe electrical energy arcing up from the floor and contacting whatever that field is at her feet. And as they do, the energy seems to kind of bleed off into that aura and snake around and fuse with the aura and be absorbed by it. But very quickly, you all notice that it seems like the aura starts drawing the energy and pulling it into itself. After just a few seconds, the electrical field within the ship seems to dissipate considerably, and you all notice that the energy now seems to not be being siphoned into this aura any longer. This being looks around with ghostly, slightly luminescent eyes, and as she does so, you see her mouth barely move in a strange and alien fashion. As it does so, you see Harmony step forward and place a hand on this being's shoulder. As she does so, the hand actually goes completely through whatever this aura around the creature is, and as it gently lays on the shoulder, this being turns her head very softly, very vulnerably, and softly brushes her cheek across the gauntlet laid on her shoulder by Harmony. And in doing so, you almost get there's an intimacy between these two that you pick up on that definitely doesn't seem sexual, but there's maybe familial, maybe something of that nature where these individuals must be pretty close. As she does so, this creature seems to get a little bit of strength from this act and straightens herself, rights herself up to full height and posture, and begins turning towards the front of the ship. All three begin moving up towards the front of the ship. Okay? As this is happening, Blitz is still over here, and he is still shaking that bag towards you guys, although every time one of these huge thundering booms has echoed, he's kind of covered himself a little bit, and looks like maybe he's shat his pants. You see a little bit of moisture in the front. We got to throw that in. So you do notice that this guy's attire is pretty shabby, but he seems to actually have, like, he's got a large backpack on that seems pretty high tech. It may even be like almost like a little mini portable safe. It looks interesting. Might have a few different uses. And then he's got a few pieces of gear on him that actually look fairly high tech and expensive as well. Some sensory equipment, some communications equipment, and a weapon or two that look like they cost, a few thousand credits. So anyway, he doesn't look destitute, but he definitely looks like he just prefers to live a more kind of grungy, less social kind of life. All right, so anyway, coming back to you guys, you've still got Blitz kind of waving his offering at you to not go upstairs. And now you guys can decide what you're wanting to do.
Transfixed by this creature's beauty and the feeling, more the feeling. Yes, the physical form is appealing to Ymir of this being, but it's the feeling that washes over him, even with all this commotion, that is almost alien to him because he hasn't felt that kind of peace or serenity since he was a very young Vana back home in Jotunheimer before he took his Bearkin oath and became a wanderer and a champion of his people. Times were good at one point in his life, and gazing upon this being kind of puts takes him back to a memory of his past for just a split second. But then one eye glances over in Wotek's direction because he is very concerned about his shield brother and all this calamity. So he kind of breaks his gaze after he daydreams a little bit of a happier time in his existence and starts to take a few steps towards Wotek to check on him because he was thrown around with all the commotion as well.
Okay. You take a quick moment to look over at Wotek. Wotek actually has now set up on his haunches, and he's watching with large, almost wet eyes as that creature walks by. And he's following her movements with such incredible, intense interest that you definitely realize that he's sensing as well some kind of incredible, probably knowing, his mental state, you know that it's probably some kind of primal, elemental kind of force that he's responding to. Because what you've noticed is that that's the kind of look that he gets before a great and majestic waterfall. At the site of one of the few eclipses that you guys have been graced to witness, and so forth, right? The time that you saw one of the great forests burn. These things have elicited this kind of reaction from him. So, whatever this is, quite powerful. Akama, what are you doing?
Um, well, I guess I'm not going upstairs. You know what? I'll go ahead and accept your offer there, Mr. Blitz. And then I grab the 3 hand-rolled blunts and look at the crew and see if they want to partake.
I will definitely deny whatever that fucking shit looking dude is smoking.
He's like, I don't want to catch that case of panty crickets. Come on now.
Ymir takes the small rolled thing that Akama hands him, sniffs it, and kind of uh, sneezes. It's like a half sneeze where something has tickled his
Yeah.
senses and he doesn't like it.
Right.
But he's curious and he can tell whatever it is on a certain night where he might need to relieve his psyche, it might come in handy. So he go ahead and takes the rolled uh, item and stuffs it in his pack. Gently stuffs it in his pack.
Okay.
Do I
Damn.
need to roll a fucking
You better
dex check
believe
for
it.
that
You
too?
better believe it, bro. You got them dick beaters the size of fucking rum hams, dude. I hate to do you like that, bro, but I mean,
Trying to
it's,
stealth something is like watching a whole
Yeah,
body
dude.
being your arm, just like trying to
fuck
like.
yeah, dude. You make Shaq look like a baby.
True. This is true.
All right, yeah, just give me a
Saw a picture
20-sided.
of Shaq
We're
next
doing-
to the Alton Giant, and like he was tiny compared to that guy. Like,
Oh,
there's, like, a
no
statue
shit.
Of, yeah,
No
like
shit.
the world's tallest man. There's like a statue of him, and Shaq was, and it looked like looks how Kevin Hart looks next to like Shaq.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
So
nuts.
what D20, sir? Is that what you said?
1d20. What's your physical prowess? Let's see here. Under core, we've got 13. Okay, so no bonuses. So go ahead and just roll a straight 1d20. We're looking for a 10 or above.
Good luck.
Beautiful.
Hey.
All right, so you take the illicit substance and put it away successfully
Beautiful.
without a scratch.
I'm gonna put the other two in my bag, and then after seeing this alien walk by majestically, I kind of do a little smirk and then sit down and like in a Indian style, and then just start meditating.
Dex, hit me with a perception check real quick, man.
Ooh, baby. Hit me with a perception check. Yeah. What's up? Here we go.
Okay. You notice Harmony has taken up a position behind this creature. And as they exit this chamber and start heading deeper into the ship, up into the cargo bay, you see Harmony glances back at you and just points up with one finger one time and turns back around and proceeds to go forward.
She lifts a finger? Like, fuck you?
She points up.
Well, not doesn't flick you off. Does anyone else know? Do we notice this? Is it obvious?
No. Dex, you're the only one that notices. You still,
Hey,
Akama, you're still... do you want to move back down? I had you kind of at the foot of the stairs looking up at the hatch.
You mean Ren?
Or I'm sorry, yeah, Ren. Are you wanting
Okay,
to... Are you wanting to kind of come back down with the group, or are you wanting to still...
I would have probably been at the bottom of the steps after the warning, and then also especially if Akama, who was the most eager to go, if he's passed me
Yeah,
up,
I was a little further than he was before,
Okay.
you know, we started walking up. I was in the head.
Yeah, I would have said then I would have been at the base of the steps at this point, because if he would have, I was following, and then also advising against it once the warnings came out and stuff like that, and also just noticing of everyone else not doing anything.
Okay, then let's do this. Why don't Ymir and Ren, why don't you both do a perception check as well? That means you guys are all relatively right next to each other, looking in the same direction.
vicinity.
So
Yeah. Hey, GM,
yes, sir.
with your beautiful measuring tape, can you point to where the gentleman is, the crazy looking dude?
Oh, did I not? Hold up a second.
He's not on the board. I don't see
He
him.
said he was near with Tur, I thought, but I don't see him on the board.
I just saw a really big picture. That's it.
That must be. Let me see.
Man,
here.
we on a roll with these 11s.
Fucking A, man. Presents character name.
Oh, he's right by us. No, he's right above you. He's just kind of see-through on my screen.
Shit, I was gonna say. I'm sorry. I wasn't able to figure out why you guys couldn't see him. You can see him though.
I can, but like
It's green. The green is fucking me up.
Let me put
he's
him on the
also
map
just-
layer.
yeah,
Yeah.
there I can see him better. Like he
Yeah,
said,
I see him
translucent,
better.
like Dex's character and everyone else is like Dex's character and whatever are translucent to me as well. Like I can
Where-
hardly see Dex even though he's right next to me. I can only see him because of his name more.
Yeah, I see Ymir stepping on your head.
Yeah, you do that.
Yeah, and so there's. I think everything is pretty. I think it works better when shit is on the token layer. Are you able to see? Let me just check this real quick. Are you guys able to see? If I bring her down, is she transparent too?
I mean, I see her white background.
She wasn't when she was up top for some reason. She is now that she's down here.
I think it's because of the color. The
It might be
night
the
vision
light.
color.
It might be the light. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's probably what it is. So I won't mess with anything. We'll just leave it and we'll keep an eye on that. Okay, so yeah, he's right here. You guys all are able to see Harmony point up, by the way. Everybody catches that. You all also catch that she's trying to be kind of stealthy about it, but the impression that you get is that because it's the one communication, she definitely seems to feel like it's important. Okay?
So, and this point up, since we all perceive it, do I get from that perceived gesture? Do I understand that she's trying to say like, go or look or check it out, or is it just like, I mean, like what am I?
You would guess
what
so,
am I
yes.
reading from?
Yeah,
Okay.
you would guess that
Well,
that's
then
what she's saying.
I'll see that and see that it was kind of like gestured to us and not, to be like, hey guys up there, and
Okay.
I'll start walking back up the steps and focusing back on the device. And I guess I don't know how this really works, but attempting to do machine ghost on the device.
You realize that if you'd care to just use more mundane means, if you just want to use a skill, you definitely could save the ISP. This doesn't seem like it's going to be difficult for you at all.
Okay,
Exactly.
Sure. Then yeah. Okay. Well, then by examining it, then I would gain that from that, and not end up casting it then. And then I'll take a look at the device to attempt to open the door, I guess.
Okay, let's just do a basic computer programming check, and you're going to have a plus 30 when it comes to the bonus.
Modifier 30.
Yes. Beautiful. All right, so without even trying, this is something you could do in your sleep. You just tap out a couple of basic backdoor passwords that you know of for this model of panel, and the second one completely gives you full access. After you tell it to run a simple diagnostic program that you know will leave no trace in whatever system this is linked to, that it was actually accessed, you use a little sleight of hand and are able to easily set this thing up so that you'll be able to have full access in and out without it even registering that it opened. Okay, once you're in the system, are you wanting to say anything to your companions? What do you guys want to be doing as he's up here and you hear him tapping away on the panel? Obviously opening the door, the hatch.
Well, Ymir, seeing that the door is opening and that's sort of the general direction that the party is headed, with what Ren just did, Wotek Ymir looks at Wotek and kind of gives him like a somber bow, looks at him and nods his head very somberly, like, stay safe while I'm gone, because he realizes that he probably won't accompany him.
Okay, and he nods.
Okay.
A slight gesture. Okay, and Akama, what are you doing?
I look at Blitz and ask him if he has any more of these funny-looking pre-rolls.
He's looking around you now at where Ren just walked up the stairwell and obviously is disappeared. And he as well can hear the keypad getting manipulated, and he's kind of like trying to look past you, not really hearing what you're saying. And he starts going, hey, what's this guy doing? What's this guy doing?
Hey, I'm asking you a question.
Okay, and he looks a little startled, and he kind of, like, for the first time, looks like he's actually registering you as a real threat, and he kind of shrinks back a little, and he says, I don't mean any offense. He says, I just want to get to the cove in one piece. He says, this place this place is fucking dangerous, and there's a lot of shit in these waters. He says, I've seen this kind of thing happen before, and I don't want to rock the boat. Just don't rock the boat.
How many times you took this trip?
He says, at least 20 times. He says,
Okay,
I
nice.
like to pick up supplies for people that don't like to make a run for themselves to get, things that they like, things they enjoy to put in their bodies and so forth. So I do the legwork and I get compensated appropriately. He says, this means that I do a lot of traveling. He says, trust me, don't fucking do it. He says, don't let whatever's up there in here.
Let me see.
Noticing this conversation, Ymir's eyes just slowly shift like daggers. Not really aggressive, but he is keened in on this conversation again because he doesn't like the tone of the tumor head's voice.
Okay. All right. So he's focused in, and as you kind of give him the fucking stink eye, he notices this right away, and his eyes get real big, and his kind of mouth opens a little bit. He's obviously extremely intimidated by you, and he reaches into his little satchel, and he produces a huge fist-sized mushroom with a shimmering pink kind of sheen to the cap, with large purple polka dots all over it. And as he holds this thing up, you see it kind of glimmers and scintillates in the light. And he holds it out timidly to you, and he says, for the bear. He says it'll help settle his tummy, make him feel a lot more calm. And you tell that this is a honest gesture. He's not. There isn't any snark involved in this. This individual just speaks like a Anyway.
A jabroni.
He's giving me tribute, is what you're saying. He's doing an honest gesture,
exactly,
tribute, like a bury the hatchet.
And don't kill me and eat me kind of gesture.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, so I'll use my skill in botany to discern, if I can, exactly what type of mushroom this is and its properties.
Do you have botany and advanced?
Botany with advanced mostly being poisons, but botany and advanced, yes.
Okay,
but more focused towards poisons.
What's your percentile on just straight botany?
Let me see.
I have a praise goods. Is that part of the same deal?
Not really, because to be honest with you, you don't know what it is. So if you knew what it was, a roll on that would tell you roughly what it's worth. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So
I gotta wait for big dude. Tell me. I look at Blitz and I say, hey, so you didn't answer my first question, brother.
And he looks back over at you. He looks back over at you, startled, and he goes, yeah. He says, 100 credits apiece. He says, they're good though. I promise. Nothing but quality when it comes to Blitz's wares. He says those things will get you blitzed. And then he looks around nervously, remembering the situation.
I do have advanced botany. I don't have a description. That was one of the blank descriptions.
No worries at all. Just give me a D100 against. You need 60% or under.
Gotcha.
Beautiful. So, you realize this is something called snaggleweed, and the little sticks are something called snaggleweed. Okay, what you've already put away. This mushroom, you've never even heard of anything like it before. You have no idea what the fuck it is, and you know pretty much all mundane fungi and a huge assortment of magical and fairy items as well. So whatever this is, it's new to you. You've never been around something like it. So
Well, sensing Blitz's gesture of good faith, the giant takes the mushroom, examines it, uh, is puzzled that he's never seen it before because, as we know, because of his skill set, he's seen massive amounts of everything. So being confused that he's never seen this mushroom before and not really understanding what it is, but he can understand that the man is trying to make peace. The giant sort of nods his head and files the mushroom away at the same place that he kept the snaggleweed.
all right, excellent, excellent. You do this, Ren. You have access completely to the hatch. Akama, you're still engaging with Blitz, and you guys now can no longer see the three individuals up ahead. They have moved somewhere off into the darkness. Okay, that we're heading into the cargo bay. Okay, what are we wanting to do, Ren? Do you want to go ahead and open the hatch?
I was probably gonna wait just a bit longer until I had a little bit more backup before just going by myself.
Hey Ren, so are we trying to go upstairs or are we trying to follow them that way and
I
point to the
will.
direction they ran?
I will kind of try to. I'll put my finger up to. I'm wearing my mask, but I'll put my finger up to where my mouth would be as a kind of a shh. Like, since I noticed that Harmony was trying to be somewhat
Discreet.
discreet about it. Yeah.
Then I look back at Blitz and I say, "Hey man, I'm looking for some more samples, if you know what I mean."
Okay, he nods, and he says, "Listen, as we disembark, he says we can talk some business. He says I may have some contacts that you'd be interested in talking to. He says so. Let's just get through this little voyage, and on the other side, find me at the bar. He says it's the only one in the whole fucking cove. He says, but find me over there, and we'll talk business. Sound good? He says, until then, please just sit down, smoke, you snaggle weed, and everything will be fine.
I look at him and smile and then walk toward Ren.
Okay. You head on up right next to him by the hatch. Ymir is doing what?
Ymir follows closely, quickens his pace, and follows closely to his group because there might be unspeakable danger topside because
Okay.
of what Wotek already said. So he is very much on guard and he tries to get to he's trailing at first, but he's trying to get into the middle of the pack and push forward to be the very tip of the spear of the group because he wants to protect his allies.
Okay, you come up in the last position, and as you look at the stairwell, like essentially this thing is maybe 8 feet wide, so it's decent for your shoulders, but it's gonna be a pretty tight fit, and unless the hatch is open and they both come down first, you're definitely not going to be able to get past them on the staircase. Does that make
Okay.
sense?
Mm-hmm.
You're kind of hunched over just with your head in the stairwell right now. So,
Gotcha.
um, okay, so
Ymir's Ymir's nerves tighten being in such a confined space. This caged feeling of this box or iron tube that he was in is now been amplified since that feeling of kind of euphoria and bliss has washed away from when the being was topside. So he is very much on guard right now.
okay. just need to set something over here. Okay, so you're very much on guard and set. You guys both have your armor still up. And, okay, Ren, do you want to hit the door? You see that your companions are stacked up and ready?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so as you hit the hatch, it opens up into a dark night sky with a pretty heavy rain and wind storming above you. You're seeing some flashes of lightning erupt overhead with loud peals of thunder echoing across the vast open seascape before you. Now, you guys know that this is some kind of inland body of water, but it is massive. You don't see any signs of shore ahead. And after this short amount of time, you can't even see the island that you came from behind you. Everything is extremely dark. You're not sure if they're keeping it this way on purpose or what, but you would guess that it's probably for, security reasons to try and stay unnoticed as you guys are traveling around. Let's see. The only lights seem to be coming from small areas that look like crucial, like crew stations, so that any crew would be able to, function properly. But you can tell that everything's dimmed. Most of the lights have hoods on them to really, prevent detection. Now, as you guys are looking around, you do see... Are you guys all able to see up at the front of the ship?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
The front is the bottom of the picture.
The top.
The
Oh,
top.
it's the top. Okay, then yes.
As you guys are looking, you're able to see that Harmony and the monk, as well as whatever that creature that came out of the sarcophagus are, they're all standing up at the front. And as you guys look around, you notice that it almost seems like whatever was attacking the ship, you would surmise that it was underwater, from the way that it felt like something moved from one side to the other and the way the hits changed direction. But you're not really getting a sense of, you're not hearing something right next to you. You're not really hearing a whole lot of water disturbance other than the pretty violent waves from the storm. But for some reason, you all get this sense that whatever that thing was that was attacking the ship is gone, inexplicably. This is extremely puzzling because you guys are pretty sure that this thing kind of had you dead to rights. It was beating the shit out of this ship. Now you're noticing lots of weapon systems and stuff around you as well, up here on the top of the ship. And some of them look pretty fucking heavy duty. But maybe one soft spot this vehicle has is attacks from below the water surface. Now, one thing that catches your attention is that up at the front of the ship... Give me 1 second here.
For some reason, my images on the front of the ship, it's Harmony and the monk, but it's two of the monks, not the lady. Oh no, I see her. She's just above that. Sorry.
Yeah, he has a picture that has two.
I thought it was overlapping. I just didn't see her, but that's because she's at the very top and she's kind of faint because of the dimming of the lights. Never mind. I just didn't see her. All good.
Okay.
Okie dokie.
All right. You guys see that creature up at the front of the ship seems to be emitting a pretty bright kind of purplish aura, a kind of corona that is flaring off of her in little waves and arcs and bursts. It almost looks like energy generating out of her and just flaring up around her form. And as she stands facing the front of the ship, you start noticing a pale blue energy coalescing around her and starting to interact with her aura. Now, as this happens, it seems like this energy is being pulled directly out of thin air, and it's very hard to see with all the rain and fog and everything around you guys, and the darkness and the gloom. But you start realizing that as she begins floating several feet off of the deck and gathering more and more of this ambient bluish fiery energy into this purplish aura of hers, you all start realizing that it's coming from some source somewhere around the ship. And as you look up into the darkness, and you guys are all gazing around at what could be causing this, you notice that there is indeed some great force of energy in close proximity. And as you gaze around the ship, you start realizing that you're hearing some kind of thunderous crashing noise coming from somewhere off in the distance behind you. And you guys all slowly turn and look behind the ship, and in the distance, as some of the clouds and storm break, you see this.
What the fuck?
Okay? You guys all immediately realize that whatever this creature is in the front of the ship emitting this aura, it is actually in some strange manner absorbing some of the flaring, fiery blue energy that seems to be stored in what you instantly understand to be techno-wizard batteries of a scale that you've never ever encountered or even heard, that they could be theorized to be this kind of scale. You guys all are chilled to the bone as you see whatever this massive creature is starting to turn its gargantuan head your way, and its cold, steely eyes lock upon your vessel as it seems to pick up its pace and begin moving towards the ship. Okay, right there, we'll go ahead and take our 2-hour break. We'll take a quick 5-10 minutes real quick to use the restroom, get refreshments. I'm going to let my dogs out, and we'll jump right back in here. Sound good?
Sure.
That's good.
All right.
All right.
I will be right back, guys.
Yeah, man. It's a great episode. On the next time on Fuck My Life.
You wanted to come up here, Dex.
I mean, I did, and then I was just about to say, nah, fuck it, and then she's like, yo, let's go, and then Ren was just like,
That's
fuck
what,
it, let's
That's
go.
what confused me. My character didn't know that she had pointed you the first time.
Right.
So I was just following you. But then we were getting all these warnings and no one was doing anything. So I'm like, it was doing what was it? What's it? Half Baked. When like everyone's like coughing like crazy off that joint, and Jim Brewer's character's like, "You guys sure I can smoke this?" That's how I felt. I was like, I don't know, we should do this.
See, and the thing was, I seen her as I went to use the bathroom, and
Yeah,
then
no,
as
I
I
know.
came back,
My character didn't know that though.
gave her a little wave.
Yeah, but my character didn't know that you had an interaction with her and she pointed to you beforehand. So my character was just thinking that you wanted to go investigate this from what you said, I just want to see it, which is not a good enough reason to possibly
I just want to see it,
to sacrifice the entire ship because you want to go see something.
I mean, the ship's already getting fucked. So, I mean, me sacrificing the ship wasn't going to do shit. As far as in me just trying to look.
Given
Maybe.
the warning that Wotek gave me, that's why Ymir was kind of like,
Yeah. And
tentative.
if that was the case, I just wanted to go double check see what's up, and then come back down.
I just had an image of like opening the hatch, and as soon as the hatch opens, like tentacles come in and start grabbing people out of the fucking ship.
And that's why
Like,
I prepped my axes, because I thought fucking Cthulhu was about to break through, and I was like, yo, if there's gonna be some tentacles, I'm gonna do some slicing. Like, fuck, we're gonna be eating fucking sashimi tonight.
Sea vampire
Eldridge.
just waiting us for to open the door.
Yeah.
Next time you were with that, let me enter. Like,
Fuck's
murders
sake.
the entire ship.
We're dead. We're all dead. Party wipe 3 episodes.
Yeah, right.
6
Episode
months of
3.
work dead in 3 episodes.
And it keeps mixing it up, so I'm scared as fuck, especially with my squishy self. I've almost died already just by fucking casting my armor spell.
Bro, I'm literally about
I
to
gotta
walk
ask-
up and
I gotta-
cut your fucking beard for you.
Well, I gotta ask when I get back if I can add to my equipment list a fucking razor or like a beard trimmer, because it's not in there, but that should be a common item that apparently if I've been using this armor and I've been having this problem with it.
Not this meta game, but can I give you like one of my silver knives and you can melt it down to make a razor or something for you?
Well, I'm sure he'll just let me have a razor in my kit. It's just not in the actual stuff that I have, but I mean, that's a common item. It's just not listed, so I just want to make sure.
Okay. You have a knife or something to cut your fucking
Plus,
big
silver
ass.
would make a terrible razor.
Fucking Humor McGee. What the fuck are you guys doing? Like, Jesus.
Actually, it's like, let me get one of those joints. It's like,
Bro, I was gonna get some more, bro.
fuck that guy.
Bro, I just wanted to get as much shit off of him as I can.
But have your character test that shit out and then use the rest of
Right.
it to make fucking like smoke grenades to daze.
It's gonna be
people all
fucking
fucked up.
fairy weed that's gonna turn you into goddamn, like, ant size.
Hell yeah, fucking, what was it? Alice in Wonderland shit.
Yeah.
Right. No, that's what the fairy food does and the fairy drugs and shit this universe does. That's all fucking trickery from what Odin says. It's like fairy
Yeah, it's like
food.
it's like
you eat it.
Fae and D&D. They're all like just like they're not necessarily bad. They're all just assholes. They just
No, yeah, exactly. Mischievous
they
as
just
fuck.
like
You
having
eat a
fun and
fairy
yeah.
fucking cheese, like a little cheese block, and your hands explode, and they fucking laugh at you for it. Like, that's the kind of fake food we're dealing
Yeah,
with.
and not because they wanted to hurt you. It's because they wanted to see if you do it and what happened if you ate it. Like,
Right, exactly. Is this dumbass humanoid?
Look what happened to his hands.
exactly.
You're like, oh, my hands. They're like, grab some new ones. Let's do it again. It's like, I can't do that. Oh no. I guess we'll find someone else to do it too.
Exactly. Bye now. You were fun for now.
Go find someone else to play with.
Right, exactly. Big dumb giant, he'll eat anything probably. No, he won't. Thank God I'm a primalist, so I know better than that shit. Y'all are lucky I got botany. That's all I'm saying.
I've got botany too.
Oh, nice.
Not advanced, but
Good shit. Yeah, I got advanced botany, mostly tailored to poisons, so hopefully that'll be some fun later on if we fight anything that, say, needs a little bit more oomph behind it. And,
Hey,
you know, potential for you.
Just to make sure you're aware, you also have that chitin.
yeah,
Titan.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
No, I know.
For sure.
We haven't had time for me to sit and research anything. It's been go.
You had fucking baseball slided to get that shit from those
yeah,
crabs. I was telling
you
my buddy
better
about
do
that.
something about it, bro. Nah,
It's gonna be me just having to study it right now. I can't just turn it into something.
bro, turn it into something, dog.
I will eventually, hopefully. You didn't get that
Fucking
much.
Skyrim rules, bro. All you need's a workbench, and that's it. Like, you're good.
Yeah, but see, then I gotta create a potion that makes me make stronger potions, and then use that potion to make another stronger even
True.
potion.
Yeah,
And
big
then
facts.
once you
That's
get
the
that
ultimate.
huge up, and then you get the potions. Then with those potions, you take the potion that makes you make stronger potions, and you make a super strong potion that
See,
helps you
you
make
know,
better armor.
that
And then you
that
get
breaks the
broken-
numbers.
Oh yeah, you get the broken ass armor with the broken ass fucking buffs on it. Dude, you could make the strongest armor in that game by doing that fucking thing. It was
Yep.
awesome.
Yep. You can make a fork that can kill gods. A fork.
Yeah.
Fucking tumor face. That's so funny. Like, I remember that art asset, and I told fucking Odin that it was fucking Scooter from Borderlands, because that's what it looks like. He doesn't sound like him, obviously, but he fucking looks like him.
All right, I'm back, guys.
Looks like a wet cigar. He looks probably like he looks like what he's smoking,
Right,
but like a wet version of it.
right.
Yeah, it's funny. Blitz is the character that was it Boom?
Yeah.
I think it was Boom on stream.
Yeah.
He came in and said, "Make this guy," and fucking turned out pretty good.
Yep.
So
Yeah, he reminds me of like if you find like a cigar blunt, like just like a part of that, like an old wet ashtray that's been sitting outside.
yeah,
That's what he looks like.
kind of gets all puckered up and shit. Yeah. All right. That fresh bowl loaded. We are good to go. What's our time frame today, guys? I don't want to.
Mine's gonna be the same, I think. From what I know, I haven't heard exact if we are for sure, but it's 7:30 again, like 7:25, 7:30.
And what time is it there right now?
For me right now, it's 4:30, so 3 hours still.
Okay. Alrighty. So let's get back to it. Are you all still able to see the image that I put up?
Yeah. I'm gonna start recording and now. Alright, take 2.
All right. Okay, guys. So we find the heroes all amassed on the deck of the converted aircraft carrier-like ship that they are riding. It's been retrofitted with some strange alien design sails and lots of different vehicles and so forth. But essentially, that's its general design. It has been making its way from their initial starting position in this area over to the mainland. They're heading over from the island, and it's a very, very long journey. About half an hour into it, they started having some problems, and now we find them confronted with what could be the biggest problem they've faced so far. So, as you guys are all looking up at this gargantuan obviously automaton, you guys notice that its interest in the ship is increasing as its fiery magical aura seems to be being even ever so slightly by comparison in scale. It's being siphoned by this entity that was released from the sarcophagus below deck a little bit earlier. The entity that is absorbing this behemoth's power, its glow seems to be getting brighter and brighter as it continues this process. And you see that Harmony and the monk are both standing back several feet, shielding their eyes and taking some cover behind some of the gear around them, some of the structures around them to shield themselves from what, even from this range and distance, what appears to be a pretty destructive magical aura that's around her. You can see little arcs zapping into the mega damage superstructure of the ship and causing pockmarks and burns and sparks to fly off. She continues this process as we come to you guys. What do you want to be doing?
Well, when Ymir steps out onto the deck, as this creature makes its presence known, despite the deplorable conditions of what most beings would consider, with the wind and the rain and the thunder and the lightning, Ymir's heart is resolved because he hears the great bear god Aku's roars in the thunder. And looking at this mighty beast, that initial kind of shock gives way to a stout heart ready for whatever to come, being bolstered by the great roars of Aku in the sky.
Okay. All right. As you steel yourself and call upon your the strength of your heritage and your people and prepare for battle, even against insurmountable odds. You guys notice that the environment around you, everything seems to be getting a little bit darker, and where the sky had seemed to clear a little bit, and things had brightened, even though it's roughly early evening right now. Um, you actually see that for some reason everything around you is getting darker. The shadows seem to be getting deeper. All light sources seem to be dimming. It's inexplicable, but it doesn't seem in any way like a natural phenomenon. This creature in the distance is still slowly lumbering towards you guys. You do feel your ship beginning to pick up speed, though, and you're all jolted just a little bit when it seems to strike some kind of outcropping beneath the waves and jolt a little to the right-hand side. It almost feels like you guys maybe hit a submerged rock or something, a small reef. But the ship continues on, still picking up speed. You're now going much faster than any traditional sailing vessel would be able to go. You're actually approaching speeds that you've seen on vehicles called hydrofoils, where you're nearly just skimming across the surface of the water. So whatever you hit, it wasn't that deep. Okay. As you bounce to the side a little bit and the ship kind of corrects itself and continues picking up speed, you guys notice that this behemoth in the background, it lets out a low, titanic kind of roar. And as it does so, you start noticing that it seems to start shifting its position. Ren, what are you doing?
It's shifting its position in which way? Like,
You can tell that instead of kind of lumbering and walking towards you, it seems to be turning its shoulders and its torso to its right.
it's right.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm once again just being so out of my element, and this is just all so new. I'm gonna kind of look towards Harmony and the monk and the other character and see what kind of they're doing, and kind of just stand by, be ready.
Okay. All right. You're looking up at them in the front of the ship, and you notice that at this point, Harmony approaches with her long spear that she's been carrying. And as she does so, she appears to take the rear of the shaft. There's a small butt cap that seems to glow softly silver, even in the pale purple kind of iridescent light. And this small butt cap, you could swear that you see a single thread-thin rune or sigil of purest white light erupting out of this small silvery butt cap. And as this light is shining ever brighter as it contacts the purple aura of this creature, it seems to be piercing through and pushing away the purple light. And as it pushes through and the end cap gets within reach of the back of this creature's head, Harmony gently just reaches out. She just leans forward an inch or two, just slightly and gently, and just taps with the most grace and precision possible, taps the very base of this creature's skull, right at the base of its like brain stem. And as she just gently touches this up against the creature, immediately the purple glow fades. Immediately the bluish energy that seems to be coalescing around the aura that's being siphoned seems to fade away and dissipate. And the creature itself, even its multi-hued distortion field that was almost skin tight, that dissipates as well, as the creature quickly drops to the ground and crumbles into a heap in the darkness and rain that swallows up these figures once again ahead of you. Give me just a second. Right there. Okay, so Akama, what are you doing as you see this?
I get the feeling that I should walk toward them, get closer to the trio that is on the front side of the boat.
Okay. Okay, as you start coming around and getting closer, you look up at the creature once again, and it is now turned almost completely to its right. And you notice that it has brought its massive warhammers up out of the water. You see now that it actually had one hammer. The head of the hammer was very close to the rear of your ship, and you guys didn't even really notice it in the darkness and gloom. But it quickly raises the head of that hammer up out of the water, and you can see that it's basically dual wielding these massive weapons, these siege weapons. And as it pulls this second hammer out of the water, you see that it's roughly the size of a small island. It raises both hammers almost in a cross, like a guard pattern in front of it, and it fully squares off to what would be the ship's left. And it seems to brace his feet as everything gets darker still. You guys are starting to have a little bit of difficulty even seeing with night vision now. The range of your night vision is creeping in, and you're able to see less and, a shorter and shorter distance. Okay, what are you guys doing?
I'm gonna brace for impact.
Okay, you grab a hold of some rigging that's close by and get a really firm, strong grip.
Ymir looks at the giant monster and its weapon and sort of there's a slight smile to himself, thinking about what the saga would be if he would ever to be able to fell such a creature, how the songs would be sung back in his homeland if he was able to bring down such a creature in the future. But realizing the situation he's in and his current skill set, he just braces for impact, just like Akama does. He's still battle ready, but he braces himself just in case the impact fells the ship.
Okay, he braces himself. Now, I want to make this clear. This thing is behind you guys. That creature is not in front of the ship. It's behind you guys, and it's turned off to the side. Okay, I just wanted to make that totally clear.
Absolutely.
Okay, so Ren, what are you doing?
I mean, do I feel like there's a threat of this thing going to be attacking at all from the way how we're past it now? It's facing away. It doesn't seem like it's...
You don't get the impression it's going to attack you. but something looks like it has now caused it from being
It to draw its attention.
exactly,
Yeah,
and it's
I'll,
getting darker still, guys.
How does this work? Like, okay, I'll grab onto something to hold onto it, and I'll like ready a cast. But on like if something pops up, can I like then use that like a ready action type thing?
You could be ready with a spell. I mean, it basically works with initiative, and if you're ready to do something, usually I'll just allow you to take that first action, and then we'll go initiative. That's kind of how stealth usually.
So yeah, then I'll grab onto something secure, and then I'll ready a superhuman strength in case I need to, really grab onto this thing, in case this thing gets, jolted, even if it's not being us directly attacked, but if
Okay.
something bumps into it during whatever possibly could be happening.
I get you.
Can I look toward the trio and see what they're doing?
You look towards them and you notice that they have all gathered together. The monk and Harmony. Let's see. The monk and Harmony have brought her back over towards the stairs that they seem to have come up.
Oh shit.
And it looks like they're quickly trying to head back down.
Oh fuck my life. I'm gonna run toward the staircase and tell the other two to start making their way back downstairs.
Okay.
Making my way downstairs.
All right, so you head back and you get up to Ymir. Ymir, you see that he's basically gesturing and saying, head down, head down. What do you want to do as you see him approaching?
Akama approaches Ymir and signs to him to fall back. He takes one small moment, another small moment, looks up at the sky one last time to hear one more crack of thunder, and then he starts to make his way back downstairs or back towards the entranceway they left to get topside.
Okay, Akama, I take it you were wanting to just get downstairs pretty much as quick as possible, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you start heading down as Ymir is kind of looking around and preparing to follow. And Ren, you're wanting to do what? You were ready to cast. Are you wanting to stay above deck or head down?
Where the stairs heading back down, is there another like a decent like railing I could grab onto if I wanted to stay up a little bit longer but still have something to grab and brace myself possibly with?
Yes, absolutely.
Then I'll move to that point neck right as close to the stairs as possible, but I'll stay up for a little bit long, just a little bit longer to see.
Okay. All right.
And I'll still have that spell on the ready in case I need to.
Okay. All right. So Ymir, you're the first to realize something is really wrong when even your night vision seems to go almost completely black, and even what you're able to hear seems to disappear and fade away to nothingness. You can still feel the rain on your skin, but you're quickly aware of a numbness that seems to envelop you. And as you gaze up and around, you notice now that not only can you see anything in the ship, you can't even see lightning flashing around anymore. You no longer see the giant in the distance squaring up with his hammers. Um, and you begin to feel a brutal and numbing cold pierce through your body, the likes of which you've never experienced. Your people, they can they routinely swim in frozen lakes just for the tingle of it. There's no heights of cold that they can't comfortably navigate just through their natural, proclivities to that kind of environment. And so the thought of one of your kind being chilled to the point of not just feeling uncomfortable, but feeling like it may actually be life threatening is simply unheard of. Okay. Um, we need. Let me take a quick look at something. I just want to see something about your character. We're going to go character sheet. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, so for your token, we need to do like details, active profile. We need to go, that's why it's not showing right. We're just going to go to character MDC. Beautiful. Beautiful. And then blue is your armor. Okay. So Bear, you right away feel this cold pierce through you, and the chill nearly feels like it's going to take your breath away. Okay. Ren, as you begin to look up, you realize that something must be drastically and catastrophically wrong with your multi optics band, because right away all of your night vision goes out. You wonder why your hearing seems to have gone as well. Everything goes completely silent. And you also notice that you're feeling a kind of dampening flow across you that feels like it's interfering with your magic on a pretty primal level. It feels almost like you're getting some kind of harmonic resistance within your own being when it comes to accessing that special extra energy source that mages are able to tap into. And this resistance feels like it's a direct kind of hindrance on your ability to wield magic. You've never experienced something like this before. As everything goes black, you too are chilled to the bone. You feel instantly like it would almost be impossible for you to try and take any quick action right now, because in the span of a second or two, you're right away nearly frozen through, is what it feels like. It feels like you've just been plunged into an ice bath, and it's such a dramatic sensation that you actually gasp in a deep breath. The way people involuntarily, it's how a lot of people that do that kind of activity drowned. You get that cold that quick, and your body reacts by taking a deep breath. So you take this huge gasp involuntarily, which is a little startling as well. And you're noticing that right away your extremities are starting to feel numb. It's so bad.
Well, if I feel this, then I'll start to head back inside and not wait outside any longer.
Okay, you start basically trying to like stumble down the stairs. You're it's going to be almost like a throw yourself down the stairs kind of, you know, getting out of the fire and frying pan kind of maneuver. You're not going to go, head over ass, but you're definitely trying to scramble if you can. And a comma, as you're looking up over your shoulder and you notice that all sound goes dead and the light seems to come completely to become completely withdrawn from the environment, is the best way to put it. It almost seems like it's being sucked out. Um, As you look around over your shoulder, you see this darkness roll in from behind you, from where your companions are still standing. And as you glance back down, you notice that there's still some light coming from within, down at the bottom of the staircase. So you're feeling like below decks is probably going to be safe, but as all of you are standing there trying to get yourselves moving and to get into the shelter of the lower decks, you guys notice that a subtle and ghostly illumination seems to fill the sky, dwarfing even the gargantuan figure that was investigating your vessel mere moments ago and causing all of you to fear for your lives. As you look up into the sky, you see hundreds of feet tall this image glowing out from the darkness and emitting some kind of hellish illumination from deep within its skull. This is the only light that can be seen, and everywhere else around it, that little bit of light seems to be illuminating a flowing and fluidic darkness that seems to have weight and mass to it. It's as though every square inch of the environment had been filled with a milky, thick, visceral black ink that seems to flow and ebb over everything. You guys are chilled so extremely and so quickly that it becomes extremely difficult to even focus. But very quickly, you guys are able to get back down below decks. And as you stumble down the stairs, you all notice, including you, Akama, you all notice that this seems to have left huge patches of frost across your guys' extremities and armor. You guys notice that as you do get down to the bottom of the stairs, right away you start feeling better, you start recovering, and you start being able to breathe a little more easily. Now, neither of you that were up in the actual cold, you don't feel like, you don't feel like you've lost any hit points or MDC or anything, but you do feel like after standing in that for just a moment, being in it for a moment longer probably would have started to kill you and kill you very, very quickly.
Voidless death, basically.
Right? You guys start realizing that whatever that was, it absorbs everything. Everything. All across the EM spectrum, the thermal spectrum, every type of energy seemed to be absorbed into its darkness. And you all definitely do feel kind of drained physically, not really metaphysically, but you feel like you've all been at hard combat for, close to as long as you're able to without having to take a break or collapse. So in that sense, you would say that you guys, all three of you, are feeling pretty fatigued. Akama, you're the only one that doesn't feel like if you had to run a few laps right now, you feel like you definitely could. The other two you guys need a minute. In fact, it probably would be good to sit down for just a second. You guys are feeling so fucking drained.
I
Odin,
was about to say Ymir
Wotek
takes
comes
a
charging over and comes to check on you,
Okay.
by the way.
Okay,
so
cool.
in my equipment stuff, we never really went through what I have and don't have, but I mean, I've got the basic things. Would I have some sort of razor or beard trimmer?
That's a great question. That's a great question. I don't know. You guys are
You could
supposed to
use my
have
axe.
you guys are supposed to have anything that's in the description, and I think we copy and pasted everything over into your equipment. So
Yes,
if
but I
it's
never went through and picked out things. Also, I would just figure if my character had built this armor, which he'd obviously used before, and
yes,
he's got this glitch in his spell of his armor where I keep getting a beard, I think he probably would have prepared for this expedition started. He
I
probably would have
mean,
got something to deal with.
procrastination is the kryptonite of many a great man and intellect, my friend.
Yeah, but this
And
is me, not my. Oh, this is my character, not me. Me, yes, I would be that guy that would be like a motherfucking bigger beard. My
I
character
mean,
though would have been like, no, I'm fixing that shit ASAP.
I gotta be honest, man. I feel like this is something that needs to kind of go through the development process. We need quality control on this.
We have
to deal
not
with this.
passed by a Walgreens or a CVS.
Nope.
We've passed
We
by
sure haven't.
17 giant monsters that could end the world
Yeah.
if we fucking look at them the wrong way. I just need a razor.
Indeed.
Talk to Blitz.
And I think those kinds of sundries will be available at the nearest settlement. I mean,
Where the fuck's the gift shop?
right. All right,
some,
guys.
Headphones for the in-flight movie and
Yeah.
a razor.
You're gonna need fucking sheep shears to get that fucker whacked down, man. You're gonna have to get control of that thing. That's dwarf hair. That ain't, that ain't thin and noodle like. That's some hardy shit right there. So.
Well, I'm gonna go near Ymir then to rest, and I'm gonna remove my headpiece, and he's just gonna see this
All right.
thick, dark brown, blackish beard on someone who he probably would have guessed couldn't grow a beard.
Right.
Just spill out.
Right. It's like a clown car of fucking beard. It just keeps fucking dumping itself out.
Nice.
All right, man. As you take your helmet off and you kind of let everything
Like in
breathe.
South Park, where what's his name takes off his hair and he's got that little fro, the orange fro. It's just
So you get your helmet off. You start letting some of that beer foam breathe just a little bit. Everybody around gets a little whiff and kind of goes, "Oh, what the fuck?" You flex some of it off and wipe yourself for the first time. Get some of it out of your nose. And as you run a gauntlet through that beard, that tangled fucking rat's nest, you realize that yes, indeed, this does need to be dealt with soon. This could be quite problematic. In fact, getting your helmet back on, it's a pretty tight fit at this point. So you realize if you had to, though, I mean, this thing's got to be a good probably 2.5 feet long at this point. If you really needed to, you could probably take like a vibro blade or something and just, just give it a quick little
yeah. I
trim.
mean, while I'm
need to
while
be
I'm
careful.
resting, while I'm resting, I would take my sword and try to at least get it a little bit more manageable.
All right.
Ymir is offended that Red would slice his beard off.
Right? That's got to look like
On,
a pretty manly fucking beard, man. It looks like guitar strings and shit.
I'm gonna sit down in Indian style and meditate.
All right. You
All right,
sit.
That was
so
great for Halloween costumes. So if you need a beard real quick, just
All right, so you sit down and start to meditate. You very quickly start feeling the fatigue start leaving your body. You start recharging some of your internal energy, and time begins to pass a little more rapidly as things seem to fall away and drop away behind you. Your attention turning inward on your own healing and reflections. All right. Ymir, what are you doing?
You said Wotek like rushed over to me in concern, yes? Like,
Yes.
After obviously being fatigued. Okay, feeling this deep chill and then deep feeling of nothingness, basically death by absolute nothingness, and this deep chill that his race is not used to. They probably don't even have a word for cold in Vanese.
No.
Ymir kind of kneels down, puts one fist on the ground because he is just drained by this feeling, and he leans over to Wotek and kind of nuzzles him, who's obviously concerned, and just rubs his head and goes, Isa, Isa, which in Vanese means easy, like
Okay.
to calm him down and let him know he's okay. he rests and then looks around and sees where there might be a cooking facility at, or somewhere where the passengers could potentially chef up a meal, because he feels like a warm meal might lift his spirits, especially from such a dark time that they just went through, or a dark experience that he just went through.
Okay. As you do this, you look around. Unfortunately, you don't really see anything that is close to like those kind of facilities here. There is a basic like sink station and like a really basic
Okay.
little, like a little wash basin kind of thing. But for
Mhm.
the most part, it's pretty Spartan. You do see, fortunately, you do see that down here there was a toilet that's large enough for your camp. So that's something that you realize. The stench to you is not bad, but this is a place that you realize the smaller occupants of the vessel are avoiding with great care. And you do notice that the butterflies, as they're called, they're these big, fat, the size of softballs, these kind of parasitic tick like flies that are known to inhabit giant uh, uh, facilities and outhouses and dung heaps. You notice that those are prevalent, and in a weird way, it's something that your kind has gotten very used to. They produce a very soothing buzzing noise that helps one's movements be produced a little more smoothly. So, um, yeah, a little piece of home just in case you're needing it.
Giant fly radio is what you're saying. I can dig it,
Right? Better than reading a shampoo bottle. I know that.
right?
All right. So you're kind of you're resting. You're trying to
Yes,
gather
he
yourself.
would travel back to the animal pad where him and Wotek were at before, because it's familiar and it has Wotek's scent on it, so Ymir feels most comfortable sitting there next to his brother
Okay.
as he recovers his strength.
All right. You guys all see that Blitz looks like he's heading into the restroom. Not sure what's happening there. Uh, but
Love to do some coke.
anyway,
GM, are you trying to tell us something
so he's
out of
he's
character?
he's back. He's back there, and everybody else is chilling out. The people that didn't react very openly uh, prior to all of these recent events, they all seem like they've kind of just settled in, and now that things are a little more calm, and the ship isn't fucking getting banged apart. They seem like they're trying to catch a little bit of rest now that they have a small opportunity for it. Everybody seems like they're kind of just kind of taking it easy right now. Nobody seems like they're really preparing for battle or anything like that. You see, even the turrets are just swaying back and forth again with green lights, apparently projecting an image of calm and that the situation is under control. This entire time, you haven't heard anybody come across like a loudspeaker. There hasn't been any announcements, no nothing. And you guys really get the sense that this is almost supposed to be like a more automated experience where it's more like getting on like an escalator in their opinion than taking some kind of like luxury cruise. Your comfort isn't really part of this at all. Um, all right, so Wakama, what are you doing?
How long have I meditated for?
You want to continue?
How long have I meditated for?
We'll say 5 minutes.
5 minutes?
Yeah.
Uh, how do I feel? Do I
You
feel
could
well?
use more. You could use more. There's not much happening around you guys right now. Things are pretty much you don't see
I'll
where
continue.
okay. You don't see where Harmony or the monk or their other passenger are, and everybody else is pretty much just being calm and sedate. Ren, what are you doing?
I'm working on my beard.
Okay.
And I am going to be taking notes on. See, this is what I don't understand. Since this object was created pre-session, just out of the way, how do I know about what I need to do to adjust or fix this spell? Like, I don't understand how I can go about that.
Oh, as far as on your armor you're talking about?
Yeah.
You surmise that the best way to do this is going to be to start making schematics for the next like prototype that you address this malfunction in. And so in that iteration, you've already got all the work done for how you've already built up the armor and the spell chains and everything. So essentially you're doing another version of the armor that you're going to construct, because once it's like made, my feeling is you can't go back. So you can add shit to it, right?
Well, I can deconstruct the actual spell chains using the crystals and all the components that's in the armor, and then try to maybe rework those, maybe using new materials. But the crystals and everything else that's rechargeable should be still okay, correct or no?
Yes, my only point is that so your best bet for having a fully functional and malfunction free one is going to be essentially to start from scratch, use whatever you can salvage from this set of armor, and basically construct a new one. I I would give big bonuses to that process, whereas trying to fiddle with the one that's already
Tinker
done
by chance,
and
yeah.
just fix the malfunction, it's going to be a lot more complicated. So, as far as just which is the better chance to succeed, that's something to do. And of course, your resource in this exchange is always going to be time. So it's kind of like, how do you want to, do you want to spend your time building the new one with a high success rate, or do you want to spend it maybe doing the other process a few times? You know what I mean? So,
Can I be then, while also dealing with my beard, can I just be like removing the components, not taking anything apart, but just taking things out to look at and maybe see and take notes on possibly the construction, what I've done,
yeah,
and
yeah,
compare
absolutely.
them
Start
to
doing like a
previous stuff, how I've,
diagnosis. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, pretty much.
Absolutely. So you get done with your beard pretty quickly. Are you guys all wanting to continue basically resting and doing what you're doing?